Welcome guys to lesson 4, Ellipse. In this lesson, we are going to know what is an ellipse and why is it important for us to study ellipse. Let's go to the next slide. What are ellipses and where are they found? Okay, so if you try to think about it, in our grade school years and high school years, we are actually we have encountered this concept of ellipse, but we call them very differently. Okay, so when we talk about ovals, when we talk about oblongs, these are actually ellipses. Okay, but not take note, not all oblongs are ellipses. Some oblongs are rectangular in shape. Okay, so the oblong that we're referring to is the shape, the rounded shape ellipse. Okay, so we know already what is an ellipse. In fact, we see it every day. For example, this egg here, our favorite food, one of our favorite food. So, an egg or most eggs, eggs in animal eggs are elliptical in shape. Okay. We also have this kind of mirror, which is usually seen in streets or in a grocery store. Uh, and then we have this, a whispering gallery. Okay, so what are whispering gallery? So these are galleries where if you try to uh, go to a point here, this is F here, point here. Okay, we call this point here as the focus. Anything that you say or any sound that you produce at this point here can only be heard at this point here. Also another focus. Okay, so that is a whispering gallery. So aside from whispering galleries, we have theaters. So if you try to remember the shape of theaters, for orchestra, stadiums, most of the areas or places with crowded people or for mass gatherings are shaped in elliptical or shaped in ellipse or elliptical form. The reason for that is that for acoustics, okay, the study of sounds, ellipses or elliptical shapes are the most optimal environment for sounds. Okay. Then another here we have this. Okay. We're very familiar with this in science. We have orbits. Okay. Orbits are elliptical in form. So we have seldomly or there are only a few cases where orbits are actually circular or round in form. Most of the time, it's ellipse or elliptical. Okay, so why does nature seems to follow this shape? Okay, so the reason behind that is that most physical objects found that elliptical shapes very stable. So for example, here we have the egg. So just a trivia on the reason why eggs are in this shape or in this manner, it's because uh, for protection for a young species to protect their child or their born your uh, their child, an elliptical shaped egg is very stable. Okay, why? It's because it to break for it to break, a force must be applied at the equatorial part or at the center. Okay, because the weakest point in an ellipse is this part here. This part here, the central part. Actually, the equator, if we try to compare it to our Earth, just the central part. The strongest part would be at the top and the bottom or the poles. Okay, so as you can see, ellipse is very stable. In fact, in the orbits, planetary orbits, we have also the apex points. So in our case, we have the perigee and the apogee. So if you can remember, the farthest point and the the farthest point and the nearest point of the planet compared to the sun. Okay, so it's still ellipse. Okay, so the reason why is ellipse are very stable. They are geometric shapes that are very stable aside from triangles. Now it's your turn. Can you think of two things that look like an ellipse? Okay, so have you observed an ellipse anywhere? Can you list it?